मंगलमय मंगल करण वीतराग विज्ञान नमो ताहि जाते भये अरिहंतादि महान करि मंगल करि हो महा ग्रंथ करन को काज जाते मिले समाज सब पावे निज पद राज। आचार्य कल्प पंडित प्रवर टोडरमल जी has written this Moksha Marg Prakashak ji, and we are on to the 8th chapter. And last week we discussed the tradition of exposition in Anuyog, and then the purpose of works on grammar, logic, etc. Today we will be starting removal of misconjectures about Anuyogs. What is this misconjectures? Dosh kalpanao. Okay. So there are some blemishes and there are some misconceptions. So we will remove those misconceptions about Anuyogs. So first of all, we are discussing Pratman Yog, removal of misconjectures about Pratman Yog. So what is the presentation method of Pratman Yog? And in that method, what are the faults that we can ascertain? But in reality, it's just a misconception. There is no fault. Okay. Because all the four expositions, ultimate target is to manifest vitrakta, complete passionlessness. So each and every exposition takes us towards that particular goal. So there cannot be any differences in the purpose of each exposition. Only thing is that there are different methodology of expressing facts in each particular exposition. Okay. And if we don't know the methodology, then it will appear to us that there are some flaws in this. But in reality, there is no flaws. Okay. So those are the some doubts that has been cleared in this particular topic. So first of all, from Pratman Yoga. Okay. So Rajeshri ji, you read.
Removal of misconjectures about Tatmanu Yoga. Many Jeeves argue that in Tatmanu Yoga, the descriptions are found in great measure about adornment of body, etc., and battles, etc., due to which attachment, etc., passions increase. Therefore, such statement should not have been there, and one should not listen to such narrations. Answer. If a story is to be narrated, then all events should be described, and if the narration is exaggerated by the use of rhetoric, etc., even then the words of the scholars are always logical. Further, if you say that for correlating the reference to the context, the general description would have been sufficient, why is the description exaggerated? Its answer is this, that without exaggeration of the indirect statement, it does not become clear. Further, earlier someone enjoyed carnal pleasures, fought wars, etc. But later on, after renouncing all this, he accepted monkhood. Such astonishing contrast would be perceived only when statements are done with exaggeration. Shall I continue, sir? Such descriptions increase passions. Answer. For example, someone constructs a Chetalya temple. His objective is to encourage persons to practice religion there. But if some sinner indulges in sinful acts there, then there is no fault of the person who constructed the temple. Similarly, the preceptors described adornment of body, etc., in mythology. Here, the purpose is not of encouraging passional acts, rather that of accentuating religious acts, but if some sinner does not practice religion and increases attachment, etc., passional feelings, then what is the fault of the preceptor?
Stop,
Question.
stop. So we have covered so far A, B, C, D. 4 points we have covered. 3 points we have covered, A, B, C. The first one was A. Many jivas argue that in Pratmanyog, the description are found in great measure about adornment of body, etc. So they would define, supposing they are defining a female character, then they will go deep into the beauty of that lady. The purpose is not to increase the passion. The purpose is to show the importance that how beautiful that lady was, and later the king renounced all these things to show the importance of renouncement. This way the descriptions is given. So it may appear that the descriptions are found in great measure, but it is totally justified. Okay, they want to justify the renunciation. See, the king has 96,000 queens, but he left all the queens and went to the jungle by initiating into monkhood. So the description was uh, not to glorify the beauty of the queens, but to glorify the renunciation of such good objects. Okay. So therefore, such statements should have not have been there, and one should not listen to such narrations. This is the question. Then answer. If a story is to be narrated, then all events should be described. And if the narration is exaggerated by use of rhetoric, etc., even then the words of scholars are always logical. Okay. So everything is explained logical. Further, if you say that for correlating the reference to the context, the general description would have been sufficient. Why is the description exaggerated? Next page. Its answer is this, that without exaggeration of the indirect statement, it does not become clear. Okay. Further, earlier someone enjoyed carnal pleasures, sensual pleasures, fought wars, etc. But later on, after renouncing all these, he accepted monkhood. Such astonishing contrast would be perceived only when statements are done with exaggeration. Okay. So exaggeration is justified. Exaggeration is not to praise those things, but to praise the renunciation, that a king who had so much of pleasure, sensual pleasures, he was so brave that he fought so many wars and won it. And still, when it came to his own spiritual development, he renounced all these things and he accepted monkhood. So that proves on to say that all these carnal pleasures and wealth and kingdom and all are of no importance, but the eternal bliss of the soul is important, and for that purpose they leave all these things and accept monkhood. Okay, so that is the objective. So this was the first point and second point, okay, about the exaggeration and the description given in great measure. So description given in great measure was point A, and the exaggeration part was B. Now coming to the third part, C. Such descriptions increase passions. Now this is again a question. Example. For example, answer. Someone constructed Chaitanya. His objective is to encourage person to practice religion there. But if some sinner, papi, indulges in sinful acts there, then there is no fault of the person who constructed the temple. Because his purpose was to encourage people to practice religion. Okay, now somebody is using it for some other purpose, then there is no fault of the person who constructed the temple. Similarly, the preceptors, the guru, described adornment of body, etc. in mythology. Here, their purpose is not encouraging passional acts, rather than of actuating religious acts. But if some sinner does not practice religion and increases attachment, etc., passional feelings, then what is the fault of the preceptor? So this was point C. Now, next point is point D that we have not read. So then there is, in the next paragraph, it is point E. And then in the next paragraph is point F. And then we have G. Okay. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7 points are there. Okay. So from D to G. Okay. So Subha, you only read.
Jai Jinendra ji. Am I audible?
Yes.
Question. Such description should not have been there, which are likely to arouse passions. Answer. The mind of an ordinary passionate person is not attracted in the statement of renunciation only. Therefore, as a medicine is given to a child in a sugar-coated form, similarly, the interest of passionate person is aroused in religion through the description of carnal pleasures, etc. Question. If this be so, then at least the dispassionate person should not study such shastras. Answer. In the hearts of those persons who do not have attachment feeling, the hearing of narrations relating to bodily adornment, etc., does not generate attachment feeling. They know that such is a tradition of narration here. Question. At least such persons who become passionate on listening to such narration of bodily adornment, etc., should not listen to such narrations. Answer. In Jain mythology, where the purpose is of religion only, and in which everywhere religion is fostered, the narration of adornment of body, etc., is done under the force of circumstances. If one become highly passionate, even on listening to this, then where would such a person become dispassionate? Rather, by giving up listening to mythology, he would indulge in such other acts only, which would encourage intense attachment feelings, etc. Therefore, even such person is likely to develop religious instincts in smaller or greater measure by listening to mythology. This act is definitely better than others' acts. Question. In Patmana Yoga, there are stories of other jivas. How is our purpose served by them? For example, by listening to the stories of lewd persons, lewdness is increased in us also. Similarly, by listening to the stories of devout persons, great affection for religion is aroused in us also. Therefore, it is desirable to study Pratmani Yoga. Should I continue, Ji?
Just stop. Let me explain this. So who is a devout person? A religious, very religious person is a devout person. That is in the last paragraph. The word devote is used. Okay. So I was just writing the meaning of that word. Okay. We come back to the D point. Such descriptions should not have been there which are likely to arouse passions. So what such descriptions? By the earlier example that was given, that if somebody is constructing a Chaityalaya for religious practice, and if someone is using it for some other purpose, sinful purpose, then it is not the fault of the person. Okay. So in that context, such descriptions should not have been there which are likely to arouse passions. Okay. So then the answer, the D point. The mind of an ordinary passionate person is not attracted in the statement of renunciation only. Okay. Yes. Therefore, as the medicine is given to a child in a sugar-coated form, similarly, the interest of passionate person is aroused in religion through the description of carnal pleasures. So why you have given such examples of sinner practicing sinful activities? Okay. So he says that such descriptions are given because the mind of an ordinary person is not attracted in the statement of renunciation only. Okay. They are more interested in something related to carnal pleasures. So that's why the purpose is to manifest passionlessness. But in Pratman Yoga, this style is adapted that as a medicine is given to a child in a sugar-coated form, because the child does not want to have medicines and the mother wants to give her the medicine. So that's why he gives in a sugar-coated form. Similarly, the interest of passionate person, because in their mind, the passion is very prominent. Okay. So for such people, he's explained the story about a passionate person, and then he gets interested, and so the description of carnal pleasures, etc., are given. So this was D, and the next E. If this be so, then at least the dispassionate person should not study such shastras. So passionate person should study those shastra, but dispassionate should not study. That is what the question is. In the hearts of those person who do not have attachment feeling. Okay. So he is already dispassionate person. Okay. So even if he reads, he will not manifest passions because he is already a dispassionate person. He is a vitragi person, right? So in the hearts of those person who do not have attachment feeling, they are detached person in the beginning itself. The hearing of narration relating to bodily adornment, okay, does not generate attachment feeling. I'll tell you one practical example. They know that such is the tradition of narration here. So the outside world that we are encountering now, okay, in our life is just a reflection of what is inside. So if internally we are very calm and composed, we have organized everything very nicely, we have understood everything very nicely, we have done analysis, we have come at a conclusion, then whatever may be the situation outside, you will always feel relaxed and at peace, because it's your it's your uh, it's your understanding that matters. Okay. So in the heart of those persons who are already dispassionate, for them narrations relating to bodily adornments does not generate attachment feeling because they are already detached person. Okay. So that doesn't make a difference. Okay. If you are explaining in the Shastra some adornment of body or some facts being exaggerated, some beauty being described in a different manner, then it does not matter to a dispassionate person. So this was point E. Now the last point, no, second last F. Again a question. At least such person who become passionate on listening to such narrations of bodily adornments should not listen to such narrations. Now very good logic. In Jain mythology, where the purpose is of religion only, okay, to manifest religion only, no other purpose is there, and in which everywhere religion is fostered, the narration of adornment of body, etc., is done under the force of circumstances. The circumstances are such that you have to describe the adornment of body. Okay. If one becomes highly passionate, even on listening to this, then where would such a person become dispassionate? Okay. So the description was given for the purpose of not manifesting passions, but to become dispassionate. And if a person becomes passionate by understanding this, then where he will become dispassionate? Rather, by giving up listening to mythology, he would indulge in such other acts only which would encourage intense attachment feelings. So at least in Pratman Yoga, he is at least somewhere the principles are embedded in the stories. Okay. So through the medium of stories, he will connect to the principles underlying those stories, and he might incline towards religion. Okay. He might renounce sinful activity and adopt auspicious activity. Okay. So for that purpose, such descriptions are given. Okay. Therefore, even such person is likely to develop religious instincts in smaller or greater measure by listening to mythology. This act is definitely better than other acts. At least he is there in such a topic where every now and then acharyas have tried to explain the principles in by way of stories. Okay, so here is a chance. But if he does not study these Pratman Yoga stories, and then he would indulge in some sinful activity where there will be intense attachment feelings. Okay, so acharyas have done a very uh, I all the acharyas were our all acharyas were psychologists, so they know that person at this stage, what would they be like, what would be their thoughts, what would be their inclination towards, and accordingly they have written the scriptures, and they have written scriptures in such a way that there is something for each type of persons. Okay. The last question, the last point also, G point. In Pratman Yuga, there are the stories of other jivas. How is our purpose served by them? For example, by listening to the stories of lewd persons, lewdness is increased in us also. Similarly, by listening to the stories of devout persons, very religious person, great affection for religion is aroused in us also. Therefore, it is desirable to study Pratman Yoga. So the author has justified that there is a purpose in Pratman Yoga also. Okay. So remove all your misconceptions about this. There are nothing that is in Pratman Yoga which fosters passion. On the contrary, Pratman Yoga is a great way to connect to new people who are not very deep into religious studies, who have not deep interest into religious studies. So by the medium of stories, they get attracted to it, and while the stories always depict some principle or the other, so they catch up on those principles. In fact, all the whatever is advised in terms of ethical behavior, it is all through Pratman Yoga. That Ram had so much difficulty, but he never come to those unethical means, although his purpose was not being solved, but he never adopted any unethical means to win over something. Okay. So in this way, they encourage through the characters of Pratman Yoga, how we should be also ethical in our life. And when we also have some problems in our life, we should follow these great personalities who struggled in those situations but never compromised on principles, and ultimately they came out winners. We can see from the life of Sita, we can see from the life of Anjana, Maina Sundari, so many characters, who had so much of difficulties in their life, but they still managed to manage those situations and they came out winners. Okay. So this is how the Pratman Yoga defines. Now, what are the misconjectures about Karnanu Yoga? Okay. So that is the second topic for today. And Priyanka ji, you read. Here, so there are 6 points. First, we will mark up the points. The first paragraph is a question. It is the point number 1. Then next page 414. One knows the kinds and classifications. That is point number 2. Yeah, this one is point 2. Then the third one is the question and answer itself. Then the fourth one is the last paragraph on this page, 414. If by listening, that is the fourth point. Then on page number 415 is the fifth point, second paragraph. If the object is known easily, that is the fifth point. And the next paragraph is sixth point. Further, you say that such study causes weariness. So 6 points are there. Now you can continue.
Jai Jinendra, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Removal of conjectures about Karna Niyog. Many jivas argue that in Karna Niyog, the gun sthans or the spiritual stages, the marganas or the quest places, etc., the karma prakritis and three worlds, that is the universe, etc., are described. So one knows them that this is so and that is so. But how is our purpose served by this? Our benefaction is possible either by worship or observing vows or giving charity, etc., or by self realization. Answer. The God omniscient is passionless. By adoration, he does not do anything by getting pleased. By adoration, once passions become feeble, automatically its fruits is beneficial. So, in the study of Karna Niyog, the passions can become more feeble. Therefore, its fruits is more beneficial. And the activities of observing vows and giving charity, etc., are the means of external instrumental causes of reducing passions. If one upayog gets engrossed in the study of Karna Niyog, then the attachment, etc., passions are removed, which is the means of internal instrumental cause. Therefore, this is more useful. After accepting the vows, etc., the jivas study the scriptures, and the self realization is the paramount act. But in the ordinary process of self realization, the upayog does not remain fixed. And when it does not remain fixed, then other thoughts arise in such a state. If one studies Karuna Niyog, then he engages his upayog in that thought. Such engagement of upayog reduces attachment, etc., passions in the present, and is the cause of reducing the attachment, etc., in future also. Hence, one should engage in one's upayog here.
Stop.
One,
So this is the first point that we have covered. If you see the question, okay, the last three lines of the question, but how is our purpose served by this? Our benefaction is possible either by worship or observing vows or giving charity. Now these three words, worship, observing vows or giving charity, this refers to Charnanyo, okay? And or etc. or by self-realization. So self-realization is a subject of Dravyanyo, okay? So the writer wants to give here the logic that Karna Yoga is not that important, you know. The Gunasthan, the Marganasthans, and the Karm Prakritis, what purpose it will solve to us, okay? By understanding all this. So he wants to avoid Karna Yoga. But Pandit Odarmalji here in this Karna Yoga want to highlight that that is also very important, okay? So the other two Anuyog, the Charnan Yoga, worship, observing vows or giving charity, and self-realization, that is Dravyan Yoga, okay? These two are here shown inferior to Karnan Yoga, okay? So that we'll see in the answer. The God omniscient is passionless by adoration, okay? He does not do anything by getting pleased, okay? By adoration, one's passion becomes feeble. Automatically, its fruits is beneficial. So in the study of Karnan Yoga, the passions can become more feeble. Why it becomes more feeble? Because in Karnan Yoga, the description is given about subtle things as known by omniscient, okay? And if one's upyog get engrossed in the study of Karnan Yoga, okay, then the attachment passions are automatically removed, which is the means of the internal instrumental cause. Therefore, this is more useful, okay? After accepting the vows, etc., the jiva studies the scripture, and the self-realization is the paramount act, okay? Now these two again words depicts Charnan Yoga. After accepting vows is Charnan Yoga, and self-realization is related to Dravyan Yoga, okay? Is the paramount act. But in the ordinary process of self-realization, the upyog does not remain fixed, you know. So if you think of only the soul, your thoughts will not stick for a long time. Okay, because if it sticks for a long time, then you will manifest purity very fast, and that is not possible at this stage. It is possible in only monk stage. So at our stage, the upyog does not stay engrossed in the soul. Okay, so that is what does not remain fixed. And when it does not remain fixed, then other thoughts arise in such a state. Okay, so so those thoughts, if arise, then it will be more harmful to the seeker. Okay, and if one studies Karnan Yoga, then he engages his upyog in that thought. Such engagement of upyog reduces attachment, etc., passions in the present, and is the cause of reducing the attachments, etc., in future also. Hence, one should engage one's upyog here. Okay, so yeah, this is the first point that we have covered. Okay, so in this total description, the author will try to highlight why it is important to study Karnan Yoga. Okay, so there are some people who wants only Charnan Yoga only. There are some people who wants to study only Dravyan Yoga. But Todarmalji here puts emphasis that there should be a balance of everything. Okay, at certain times you need Karnan Yoga also for support. At certain times you need Pratman Yoga also for support. Okay, since all the four expositions primary function is to manifest passionlessness, so it does not matter which anuyog you study. Okay, you are still in the path of manifesting passionlessness. So there is importance of each exposition in a particular situation, and in that particular situation, that exposition is going to work for you. So don't have allergy to any anuyog. Accept all anuyogs as and when they are fit to be used. This is the final. Now the second point, one who knows the kinds and classifications of jivas and karmas. And then the third point, both together we can discuss. Darshiji, you read.
Jai Jinendra. So you want me to read through one knows the kind of classifications from them?
Yeah.
Okay. One knows the kinds and classifications of jivas and karmas, etc., in various ways. In such knowledge, there is no purpose of indulgence in attachment, etc. Therefore, attachment, etc., are not increased. Rather, everywhere the purpose of evolving passionlessness is proved. Hence, such study is the cause of uprooting the attachment, etc., passions. Question. Though some statements are of this purpose only, but what is achieved through the description of yojanas, unit of distance measurement, etc., of islands, oceans, etc.? Answer. On knowing them, agreeable, disagreeable feeling is not aroused. Therefore, the aforesaid purpose is served. Question. If this be so, then even knowing of things like stones, etc., which serve no purpose, does not give rise to agreeable, disagreeable feeling. Therefore, such knowledge also proves to be useful. Answer. An ordinary passionate person does not make effort of knowing anything without the purpose of attachment. If its knowledge takes place on its own, then due to the intention of internal attachment, he wants to disentangle his upyog from there. Here he knows the islands, oceans, etc. effortfully, engages upyog there, so such act is possible only on reduction of attachment, etc., passions. And in knowing stones, etc., if any worldly purpose is perceived, then attachment, etc., passions arise. But in knowing the islands, etc., no worldly purpose is involved. Therefore, it is not the cause of attachment, etc., passions.
Stop. So 2 points are covered. The second point is that classifications of jivas and karmas, their divisions and subdivisions in various ways. So here the purpose is purpose of intelligence. There is no purpose of indulgence in attachments, etc. Okay. By knowing these descriptions of jivas, karmas, their divisions, subdivisions, there is no purpose of indulgence in attachment. Therefore, attachments are not increased, rather everywhere the purpose of evolving passionlessness is proved. So this is the second point. The third point. So then the question was asked, why the description of so much of Meru Parvat is of so much yojan, and this is of so much yojan, and there are so many islands and oceans and all. So the answer is, on knowing them, agreeable, disagreeable feeling is not aroused. Therefore, the aforesaid purpose is served. Okay. So when there is no feeling of agreeable and disagreeable, then you are manifesting passionlessness. Because when you feel that some object is good for you, then you develop a feeling of attachment. And when you feel that some object is not good for me, harmful to me, then you develop a feeling of aversion to them. But here, there is nothing agreeable or disagreeable. Okay. So then the passionless only rise. So that purpose is solved. Then the question came that then why don't you, if this be so, then even knowing of things like stones, etc., which serves no purpose, does not give rise to agreeable, disagreeable feeling. Therefore, such knowledge also proves to be useful. So then tautology denies that no, knowing stone, there is no purpose. Okay. And and by knowing these islands, oceans, etc., effortfully engages upyog there. Your upyog, your active consciousness is engaged in those objects, in their descriptions. So in those time, at least you are not manifesting attachments. Okay. On the contrary, the descriptions given by omniscient. So you feel that, oh, omniscient are such great creature that such minute description is given in the scriptures. And that is only possible by an omniscient. So you have the glorification of omniscient being is also done, and at the same time your active consciousness also gets engaged in such description. So automatically the purpose of manifesting passionlessness is served. While knowing the stone, if any worldly purpose is perceived, then attachment, etc., feelings will rise. So it is not advisable. But to know these islands, oceans, and other descriptions that are given in Karna Yoga, by listening to this, you develop a feeling of passionlessness in the long run. Okay. And so this is advisable. Now the next point is the fourth point, fifth point, and sixth point, 3 paragraphs. So again, Subhaji, you read.
If by listening to the structure of events, etc., attachment, passion is aroused, then it will be about the next birth. Here, by knowing the virtuous conduct, punya, to be its cause, by giving up vicious conduct, papa, he would follow virtuous conduct. This much benefit only will be there. Further, on knowing island, etc., the exact structure of the universe is known. Then, by perceiving the descriptions of other faiths to be false, he would become true believer. And on removal of fallacy, by knowing the exact structure of the universe, purity of Upayoga emerges. Therefore, such study of Karnani Yoga is efficacious. Question. Study of Karnani Yoga is very difficult. Therefore, its study causes uneasiness. If the object is known easily, then Upayoga, active knowledge, does not get engrossed in it. And the zeal of knowing a known thing repeatedly does not arise. Then the Upayoga gets engrossed in sinful acts. Hence, one should study that also, which according to his ability can be studied with difficulty. But how would one study that which he cannot study? Further, you say that such study causes weariness, but religion does not consist in remaining idle. If one feel happiness in idleness, then sin alone is caused. Hence, it is desirable to make effort for the sake of religion. With such thoughts, one should engage oneself in the study of Karnani Yoga.
So in the fourth point, the structure of heavens, etc. Okay. If a feeling of attachment is aroused, then it will be about the next birth only. Because by and large, people do realize that if they are doing such good activities here right now in this human life, then their next birth would automatically be in heaven only. Because all the punya that we are accumulating now, for its fruition, we have to go to heaven. Even Kunkundacharya is now in heaven. Okay. So this is generally the trait of all the enlightened souls or who are into the path of liberation. They always get the birth in a heaven. Okay. Here, by knowing the virtuous act punya to be its cause, by giving up vicious act, conduct, path, he would follow virtuous conduct. This much only benefit only will be there. Further on, knowing islands, the exact structure of the universe is known. Then by perceiving the description of other faiths to be false. Okay. So such minute descriptions of island, oceans, rivers, three worlds, and all these are so much of subtle descriptions given in Karnan Yoga. But by understanding this, they will feel great about Jainism, and they will feel that whatever descriptions are given in other faiths are to be false. Okay. He would become true believer. So he would, his belief in the Jainism would further increase and he would become a true believer. And removal of fallacy by knowing the exact structure of the universe, purity of upyog emerges. Okay. Therefore, such study of Karnanyog is efficacious. In fact, I would tell you, kid, I know many people who indulge in study of Karnan Yoga, and then they left everything. They studied whole life Karnan Yoga only. It is such an interesting subject, you know. Once your upyog gets engrossed in it, you don't like leaving it because it's all technical matters. So people who have got scientific background, they usually gets interested in this kind of technical matters. Okay. Then the next point, fifth point, Karnan Yoga is very difficult to understand and I feel uneasy. So the author says that if something is difficult, then we put in more interest to understand, and our upyog also gets engrossed in it. So we are automatically saved by sinful activity. Okay. So it is better that you engage your active consciousness in the study of Karnan Yoga, although it is difficult, but with difficulty, you are engaged in those studies with more sincerity and dedication. Okay. And that will itself will bring good things in your life. And the next point is that such study causes weariness. But religion does not consist in remaining idle. So you are at least busy. If you are not studying this, then what would you have done? Your time would have passed, but we would have indulged in sensual pleasures. So one line which is very important here, if one feels happiness in idleness, then sin alone is caused. So you should never remain idle. You should always be engaged in some activity or the other. Okay. If you remain idle, then you will definitely indulge in sinful activity. That is what Todomalji has to say. Now, I am teaching in so many batches, then I have other classes going on, then I'm doing research, and then I'm doing translation. Yesterday only I finished translation of Ashtapaud, which is our third paper in this SEM. Okay. So the translation was done by ChatGPT and it was reviewed by somebody else. And then I had to do a final review. But engaging in all those activities keep me all the time busy. So I have left business with this interest only. And when I was doing business, I was still idle. But the day I left the business and I got involved in this kind of studies, not a single moment I'm free. Today in my diary, I made this diary. Every day I write something what is to be done for today. and I have 7-8 items pending for tomorrow. Okay, so from morning only I do 2-3 items at a time. 1 hour if I'm doing translation, then another 1 hour I'm doing something else. So at least don't get bored also, and the subjects keep on changing. Okay, so the statement, if one feels happiness in idleness, so everyone's question is that it becomes a bit stressful, managing the business and the family life, and then studies, and you give these assignments. So I'm busy all the time, right? But it's very good if you are busy all the time, right? But if you are idle, then you will indulge in sinful activity. Now you see, we are now almost two years, more than 2 years over in this course, and you can see the changes in your life. And those who were your friends or close associate, you see where their life is going on. You have to struggle a bit. I know that you are struggling a bit, and it's that struggle is good for us. At least we are grounded every time. We never get carried away in any manner, in any way. And because this words of Jinwani has a magic in itself, so these words also connect to you to go deeper into spiritual understanding. Okay, so net, there is a bit struggle. There are challenges in life, and you have a struggle, I know, but you have to win this struggle for your own benefit. Okay, and if you come to this struggle, then the first thing that you are going to leave is this Jinwani only. Okay, so that's why I announced that I can take extra classes, because people were not attending classes. So I thought that the timings are not suitable to them. I know that Aditi ji is traveling, and Aditi Jain also sent me a message, and I know Jinpriya has a job of US, so she's busy right now. So some of the reasons I know, but at least 7-8 people we are all who can join. But somehow someday someone is absent, that is quite okay. There's no problem. But generally, this should be the priority in your life, because the solutions are going to come from here only. And if you discard this study and do any other thing, whether it be an activity of mandir also, then also it is not advisable, because this is your own spiritual development. Okay, so you always find ways how to manage between the two. Okay, so I'm also doing a lot of you can say philanthropy activities. Okay, but having said that, I have always my personal interest in mind. Okay, so even I am taking extra class in your class, then it is for my benefit only. I'll be engaged in that study. Okay, and those people who cannot attend at this time of the class, they will be benefited. Okay, so at least once the interest gets developed, no, then you are going to leave anything for this. Okay, so the interest has to be developed, and once interest has to develop, people find time for pursuing their passions. So if somebody is interested in, say, mountain climbing, then he will go to trekking sometime. He will find time for that. So similarly, our interest is this Jinwani, because we want to get liberated. We have seen this in this worldly existence, that there is no happiness anywhere, and with that firm belief, we are studying Jinwani with a purpose. So you should always be busy. Okay. Recently, in 2024 batch, 2 students joined late in November end. Okay, November end. And I told them that there are 5 batches going on, new batches. You join one of these batch. I sent the details. So there were 3 students, in fact. So I thought taking up them a separate class. So then I did 2-3 classes, and I knew that it's going to be very tough to complete the 1-year syllabus in 2 months. So then I shared them the 5 new classes that are now going on, new batches. So one joined it, and the other 2 said, no, we want to do this only. So we did class every day, and sometimes we did 2 classes a day. Okay, and we covered the whole 1-year syllabus in 2 months, December and Jan. And they given 3 exams also of this semester 2. One is returned from USA. She is in Ahmedabad now, and the other is in Chennai. So like if you have the quest to know Jinwani very deeply and you have time to attend everyday classes, then I am ready to do it. So it was all offline classes. There was no recording. Only these 2 students and one more was also joining because she want to repeat the lessons. That's why. So I am also planning another class, maybe in the time that suits Aditi Jain and Jin Priya. Okay, so that I will plan it out after talking to them. So if some of you are not able to join this class, we can do that one. And the other suggestion that Darshit ji has mentioned is to having a 2 hours class on Wednesday. So if you are comfortable with that, I'm also comfortable with that. But at least you should see that you attend most of the classes. Once in a while, you catch up on recording is okay. But if it becomes a just passing semester after semester, getting marks is not the purpose of this course. Okay. So we want to go very deep into it, and that can only happen if you are attending live in front of so many students. You can ask questions and your video is on, so you are not distracted by any phone calls or nothing like that. So all this makes a difference. If it would have been live, it would have been more better. But since we are not live at the same place, so connecting on Zoom is also okay. Okay. So we have to accept what is available. So you just decide what you want to do. I'm ready with everything, and I will definitely announce another class that will not be recorded. That will be an offline class. Once I talk to Jin Priya and Aditi Jain, then we will decide on that class. I think that will be somewhere around in the afternoon, 12 or 1 o'clock, because Aditi Jain is in UK. So the morning times will not suit her. So it will be somewhere in the afternoon, but I will let you know. But if any of you have any other preference, you let me know. I am ready to accommodate, but at no cost, you should miss the classes. Okay. So this is the final message. So this line is very important. You write it down. If one feels happiness in idleness, then sin alone is caused. So sin means you will indulge in sensual pleasures. Okay. What else? So now we have got a very good medium called internet, and which is available in everyone's mobile. Okay. So to how you will pass time, there are many options available. You can go to Insta, you can go to Facebook, you can go to, there are so many platforms available. Okay. And just time just flies, So you should be always busy. You should be overcommitted. I am overcommitted. If I have 100 capacity, I take 125. So somewhere down I fault. So net it is around 90 to 100% I achieve my targets. So if one feels happiness in idleness, then sin alone is caused. Hence, it is desirable to make effort for the sake of religion. With such thoughts, one should engage oneself in the study of Karnan Yoga. So there is study of Karnan Yoga is being justified here. Okay. Now the next topic, removal of misconjectures about Charnan Yoga. So as we know, Charnan Yoga is all about ethics and conduct in the life of an householder and a monk. Okay. So let's see what are the methodology of Charnan Yoga and where persons believe that this is not the right way. And then the author will remove the doubts and tell the correct thing. It's a small 2 paragraph only. So Sasikala ji, you read.
Removal of misconjectures about the Charnana. Sir, kindly excuse me. To be frank, I forgot at 9 o'clock. I was remembering I had a remove, but somehow that's why late joined. Kindly excuse.
No problem. No problem.
Please.
If you are excusing, that means you wanted to attend the class and
yes, yes,
that is a different thing. That is a different thing.
And also, sir, every day, I am having some health problem. The sleep, I'll go to sleep up to 9 o'clock. Then I'll got up at 10 o'clock like that. I'll read like that language and all. I did like that only. That some problem is there for me, that early sleep. That's
Okay.
why so many days I'm missing the class. I sent you message also.
Okay.
Sorry, friends.
So I have got many options in naturopathy. You want to take any?
Yes, sir. We will talk. I will talk to you.
Yeah,
Sir.
you talk to me later. I will.
Yeah. Please, please. Dhanyavad. Removal of misconjunctions about Charnan Yoga. Many jivas say in Charnan Yoga, the discourse is for observing the external vows, that's rights, etc. But no purpose is served by them. Our thoughts and dispositions should be pure. Sir, disposition means Hindi mein?
Sentiments, bhav.
That one, bow. Should be pure. You are remembering very, I'm not able to recollect. Should be pure, whatever be the external activity. Therefore, one need not pay attention to such discourse. That's this one misconjecture. Answer G is giving. There exists instrumental cause and effect relationship between soul's dispositions and external activities, because the actions of non-omniscient jiva are found in accordance with the thoughts. Sometimes some activity also takes place unrelated with the thoughts. This happens helplessly. When one engages himself willfully in some act and say that my thoughts are not such, this is his fallacy, mistake. Or thoughts may be aroused by paying attention to external objects. Therefore, for detaching one's upayoga in Samayasara, Shastra, etc., it dissociation from the external objects is advised. Hence, on lessening of attachment, etc., passions sequentially, the householders and monks' religion are evolved externally, or on accepting in this way, householders and monks' religion in this state of fifth and sixth gunasthanas, on lessening of attachment, etc., feeling appropriate dispositions are evolved. Such expression is found in Charnan Yoga. And if there is no achievement by observance of external continence, what does that mean, sir? That Hindi.
Continence is Sanyam. Bahya Sanyam. Sanyam. Understood?
You are on mute, Sasikala ji.
Sasikala ji, you are on mute, right?
I don't know why it has become. And if there is no activity by observance or external continence, then what?
Continence is Sanyam.
Okay, sir. I heard. Understood. Because I'm relate that Hindi, I catch up immediately that word.
Yes.
Then what is the reason that the gods of Sarvada Siddhi heaven, who are true believers, are stated to have fourth gunasthana only, whereas the householders Shravakas possess the fifth gunasthana? Moreover, why should the Tirthankaras etc. accept continence, great vows, by renouncing the householder's life? Therefore, this is the rule that without means of external continence and vows, etc., one's thoughts, dispositions cannot become pure. Hence, for the knowledge of code of external conduct, one must study Charnan Yoga. Excellent. Thank you. Is no? With that, no?
Yes. So, Charnan Yoga, the main purpose in Charnan Yoga is to get involved the mind, speech, and body in auspicious activities. Okay. So there exists an instrumental cause and effect relationship, nimit nemitik sambandh. Okay. So the disposition of the soul are the nimit and the external activities are the nemitic. And it is other way also. The external activities are nimit and the dispositions are nemitic. Depends on from which perspective you are talking about. Because the actions of a non-omniscient jeev. Non-omniscient jeev is which gunasthan, Priyanka ji? Non-omniscient.
Is it the 12th?
1 to 12th are all non-omniscient.
Oh, yeah, 1 to 12th. Up to the 12th.
Up to the 12th, right. So, non-omniscient jeev are found in accordance with thoughts. Sometimes some activity also take place unrelated with thoughts. It is not always that there is exists as instrumental cause and effect relationship. Sometimes it is also unrelated. Like if you are going to the temple, generally speaking, we say that if you go to a temple, you will have auspicious thoughts. Okay, and if you go to a movie, you will have a inauspicious thoughts. That is a general talk. But sometimes you go to a movie and you connect to some auspicious thoughts. Sometimes you go to a temple and you connect to some inauspicious thought. So it is general statement, not always. There is no rule as such. Okay. Sometimes some activity also take place unrelated with thoughts. Okay. This happen helplessly. You're not in your hand. When one engages himself willfully in some act, okay, you're doing some act and says that my thoughts are not such, this is his fallacy. Okay. So when you are doing something willfully, your thoughts always follow that activity. It is in accordance to that activity. Okay. It is not different. Or thoughts may be aroused by paying attention to external objects. Therefore, for detaching one's upyog in Sem5 Shastra, its dissociation from the external objects is advised. So generally this is advised. Okay. Hence, on lessening of attachment, etc., passions, sequentially, the householders and monks' religion are evolved externally. So this is evolved externally on its own. It depends on the dispositions that you are manifesting. Okay. So sequentially, as the attachment gets reduced, you develop a feeling of getting into a householder's role. Then further, by practicing more Bhed Vigyan, then you feel that I should become a monk. First the thoughts comes. First it is a passing thought, then it becomes very prominent, it comes again and again, and that is the time you take notice of it, and then you sincerely follow it up and get into those activities. So it's a very automatic thing that automatically comes in our life. So never get worried, how will I become a monk? How will I become a household or a Sravak, Don't worry, it will automatically come. You just understand and take decisions. That's all. Or in accepting in this way, householders and monks' religions in the state of 5th and 6th Gunasthan, on lessening of attachment, etc., feelings, appropriate dispositions are evolved. So on one side, your attachments, passions are reducing, and accordingly, the external activities are of that nature. Okay. So while studying the 11 pratimas, we had discussed this, that one part is, it was in Tattvagyan part 2. Okay. So one part is the internal purity that you have developed. Corresponding to that, there is attachment that is going along with that. And corresponding to that, there is an external activity of mind, speech, and body. All three things going on simultaneously. But these two have Nimit Nimitic Sambandh and these two have Nimit Nimitic Sambandh. Okay. The internal purity and the external attachment remaining, they have a cause and effect, instrumental cause and effect relationship. And the attachment and the external activity of mind, speech, and body also have instrumental cause and effect relationship. Okay. So everything will come automatically in your life. Such exposition is found in Charnan Yoga. And if there be no achievement by observance of external continence, then what is the reason? That the gods of Sarvat Siddhi heaven, who are true believer, okay, all those people who are here now, Bhavlingi Muniraj, monks, okay, they get birth in Sarvat Siddhi only. These are some of the highest heavenly positions, okay. So all those gods of Sarvat Siddhi heaven, who are true believers, Samyak Drashti.
There are Ek Bhavdari, next Bhav Moksha.
Yeah. They will get liberated in the next birth. Are stated to have 4th Gunasthan only. Because the Sanyam is not there. In the heavenly being, you cannot go beyond 4. So the Sanyam is not there. But in terms of knowledge, in terms of other things, they are quite good. They are true believers. Okay. Whereas the householder Shravak possesses the fifth gunasthan. Although he is indulging in some sinful activities also, but still he has got fifth gunasthan. Okay. So all these external activities have a direct link up with your disposition. Direct link up means there exists a instrumental cause and effect relationship. And Charnan Yoga defines that if you are indulging in this kind of activities, then you are likely to have this kind of dispositions. Okay. Moreover, why should the Tirthankars, etc., accept continence, great woes by renouncing the householder's life? Just imagine a Tirthankar, a Chakravarti, and Kamdev. Three Tirthankars, Shantinath, Kuntunath, and Arnath. They were Tirthankars also, they were Chakravartis also, and they were Kamdevs also. Okay, all three things at one time. And still they renounced all these things and become a monk. Why? So there are some activities that happen only in accordance with the external activities. Okay. So now if you want to manifest passions devoid of three levels, okay, then externally also you would be a monk. So these are some of the equations which you cannot change. Okay. So outside activities is not in our hand, but internally we can manage our emotions by practicing the science of discrimination. And that's how you climb up in the ladder of spiritual development. Yeah, Darshiji, you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. To me, this doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, because when you say the gods of Sarvat Siddhi heaven, who are true believers, they are in fourth gunastan, and yet we are saying that in the next birth they will get moksha.
Yes.
And then here we are still saying that the Shravaks are in fifth gunastan,
Right.
and they could take a lot longer. So how do the two, where is the gap?
So like this Sarvat Siddhi, particular this Sarvat Siddhi, if we are talking about, then in Sarvat Siddhi only those jivas go there who were monk here. So they have done lot of homework here. Okay. And because like now in this fifth era, Kunkunda Acharya was here right now only 2000 years ago in the fifth era. So there was no liberation at that point of time. Okay. So compulsorily he has to go to heaven because of all the punya that he has done. Okay. So in heaven also they are into Sarvat Siddhi. And Sarvat Siddhi, they are in the fourth stage only. They cannot go beyond fourth stage in a heavenly being, in a heaven life. Okay. So they are not beyond fourth. They cannot go beyond fourth, but still they will they keep on discussing about the fundamentals only. Okay. And they are all the time involved in religious activities only. They don't have any devis along with them. Okay. Generally, the heavenly beings have many apsaras and all. So they don't have. They are mostly brahmacharis, and their life is also very big, 33 sagars and all. And they keep on discussing this religious talks only. And still, one question.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I read it. I came to know from our professor. Every samay that whatever they discussed, it will not be repeated for 36
Yes.
sagas. That every samay knew about the Atma Gyan and the Atma this one. See, imagine there is no repetition of what they discussed, what they felt.
Right.
So that
was said in context that how many qualities are there in a soul. So there are so many qualities in a soul
infinite.
that Sarvat Siddhi Dev, they keep on discussing each quality at a time, and their whole life of 33 sagar passes, and still the number of qualities that are there in a soul does not get over. The discussion does not get over. So that much infinite quality we all possess. Okay. So
Sir, sorry, sir. Sir, question.
Yeah.
Sir, we possess infinite qualities.
Right.
Sir, can you give me like just practically, like when we want to think good about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like the other day, some other class, they said, write 5 things that you appreciate about yourself. I couldn't come up with more than 3. So, sir, the soul is with infinite qualities. Can
Yeah.
you tell me, like, sir, 5 things that I can jot down, remind myself every single day?
Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev has given names of 47 qualities in Sem5. Okay. So you memorize those 47 names and
Sir, 5 will also do. So 5 they do.
but I am giving you 47. So one quality at a time, you every day you do one quality, and you will feel, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this. So your own soul's glorification will happen that I am so great personality. Okay. So there is knowledge, there is perception, the Gyan, Darshan, Virya, Sukh, Prabhuta, Vibhuta, Sarvadarshitva, Sarvagnatva, Prakashatva, Tyag Upadan Sunyatva, Parinamya Parinamatva. There are 47 that has been named, and that's only a sample. How many are there? Infinite.
Infinite.
Infinite. So with these 47 functions, now this Karta, Karm, Karan, Sampradan, Apadan, Adhikarana.
Priyanka, if you want, I'm having all this in English. I will share it.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful, Sasikara aunty.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
nice.
having that whole book, that one. We
Okay.
did in our one paper also, Samesa. I
Okay.
will share lot of
Please,
photos.
please, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami used to remember this 47 names every day in the morning. Okay. Because this is what connects you to your soul, that you are such a glorious thing, and you yourself, with few thoughts, you believe yourself to be something else. Right? So this helps in a big way, So you must remember these 47 names. At least you know the functions, So there is one function called Tyag Upadan Sunyatva Shakti. So this soul does not grahan. Grahan means does not take anything inside it, and it does not even renounce anything. That is Tyag Upadan Sunyata Shakti. So nothing, what is inside, nothing goes out, and what is outside, nothing goes in. So we have such qualities in us. So soul is always such a powerful instrument that just by knowing the different qualities of a soul, you feel like that there is nothing to be else to be done in life except connecting to the soul. It is such a glorious thing. So these Tirthankars also renounces householder's life, and then they become a monk. So therefore, this is the rule that without the means of external continence and woes, one's thought and disposition cannot become pure. Okay, so nimit namitik sambandh. External activities and the dispositions have a instrumental cause and effect relationship. Okay, so if you want to purify your thoughts, then you improve your external conduct. Hence, for the knowledge of code of external conduct, one must study Charnan Yoga. They are showing the importance of Charnan Yoga. So this is where we will stop today. Removal of misconjectures about Dravyan Yoga we'll discuss tomorrow. And if you decide, then we can have tomorrow 2 hours class also. Otherwise, from next week, we can have 2 hours class. You just inform Darshit ji what you want, what is your opinion, and then we will see what we can do. Okay. Anything else, Darshit ji?
So we congratulate Subhaji. Or is it
Obviously,
done?
fantastic that you became a topper, Subhaji, and congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can teach the trick for next time.
Thanks a lot.
Subhaji, maybe you can teach us the trick of how to do it next time. Because paper 3, I found it really tough.
One advantage what I had this time is I had the question paper in my hand and they have given me a lot of time to do it. Right? I'm a kind of person who will get confused a lot. I myself will confuse and I'll confuse the question paper also. But this time I had a lot of time to think about it. So that made it good. That's the reason.
And plus, it is an open book exam, so you can refer to the textbook. The questions are from textbook. You have to just meticulously
No,
read.
even if I look into the textbook, I'll confuse myself always.
Sir,
Right,
I
Rajesh,
felt the
she's being
quest.
humble.
I felt
She's
the
being very
quest.
humble.
The first question paper was some answers we write correct. I wrote, but it came as 0, which would upset me a lot. I think it was not marked correctly. I really feel. I don't know why.
So you got all the marks? Everyone got the marks?
No, we didn't get the marks. We don't know where
Sir,
to see.
So
please.
that's it. You have to just see something why the marks are not showing in Moodle.
It's not showing.
I can ask the team leaders group how
Yes,
to do it.
yes. You just ask.
Okay.
So everyone will access to their result and they will plan ways to improve in the next sem. Okay.
No, we'll compare now what we performed in the last semester, how we are standing here. This
Yes.
semester.
Definitely. So
Definitely.
it is only the objective that makes the difference.
Yeah,
Because
100%, sir.
assignment,
Because
almost all are getting good marks. Okay.
sir, no understanding what my experience I'm telling. This getting this English from this time. No, it was in Hindi along with me. I got a 46 in the third paper because I can read it that one and understood the question.
Every time it is there. Every time Hindi and English both are there.
Nice, no, sir. Sometime is it? Maybe
Yeah.
I missed it. I don't know.
Yes, every time.
It's normally there. It's normally there.
Oh, that's why no. If while reading also no, this getting that English translation to that what we know study no, it's the bit difficult for me. This language, that's the problem. It's
No
not that English is difficult, but relating with that what we know in the original Hindi or that one Tamil, that's the thing, the problem.
And earlier, I used to read English technically as I'm a chemistry teacher. I'll keep it too technically. But now I understood that it is not technical, it is English language for the past 2 semesters. So I'm taking it as an English language, not technical one. That helped me a lot.
So I wanted to ask if you guys can, I mean, the students, if they can come back to me and then we can make a decision on whether it suits us. I know there are some fears of a 2-hour class as well because it could become too long and we could lose our concentration.
100%, because mind cannot concentrate for 2 hours. What I felt.
But in university, you have classes for 4 hours at a stretch.
Sir, we were young. So now we are old.
No,
So we are all
Priyanka,
old.
you are telling you are
You're
old.
still so
What
young
about
compared to
me?
me.
I've yawned to the
Priyanka,
person and
if
I
you're
was
saying
Priyanka,
you're old,
don't say
then
that you are
And
you're
old.
in the graveyard.
one more thing is that, sir,
You are
2
young
hours if I miss one, if we miss
No,
one
I
class,
am okay with this arrangement. I don't mind. Only thing is that we have changed this from 8:45. We made it at 9. So 9 to 10:10 is what we target. Okay.
Yes, sir. That
I'm
only
okay with
better,
this
sir.
arrangement, but if you want it 1 day, 2 hours, that is also okay. You decide. I don't mind.
Sir, I had initially suggested just quickly, like it came to my mind because typically our 1 hour classes are not really 1 hour. They are like kind of, a little bit stretched out. So I thought like, instead of then having maybe 2.5 hours cumulatively, it might make sense. Like, if we combine both the days, it comes up to roughly about 2.5, quarter to 3 hours. So I thought like 2 hours at a stretch would be nice. I realized today that it was a very I don't know, for me, it was an impractical solution. I've yawned a lot, not because it's not, the topic is not interesting. It's just you can't concentrate. And then it's not going to be productive if I stretch myself just to get it out of the way. I rather sit fresh minded. So I retract my suggestion of 2 hours is what I'm trying to say
No,
because
yeah,
it
please,
didn't work
sir,
out today.
continue. Sir, my suggestion, please continue like this only, sir.
Okay. Fine.
My
I'm
mind.
good. I'm good. No problem.
Very live.
I will
and
have one more class. Okay. And let me talk to these 2 people and then I will give you the timing. So if somebody can attend this also and that also, there's no problem as such.
Yeah, when you are giving the special class, offline class, no, just put
Yes.
a message. If I'm
Yes.
there,
Yes.
I can attend, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I missed so many classes. Sir.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, then that mark they will load in that notebook.
Yeah. That Darshitji will do the needful. No problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Sorry, sir. One last question, sir. Sir,
Uh,
does this count towards our Samaik, 48-minute Samaik everyday thing?
What?
listening to the
48,
class.
48 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Attending the
yeah.
class.
So in Samaik only, this is done only. Okay.
So, sir, if we do one, just mathematically, if we do at a stretch, does it count towards 2 Samaik?
So the Samaik that you are talking about is not the actual Samaik. Okay.
Yes, sir, exactly.
So
Okay.
it's just a tradition that is maintained. But what they do in Samaik is they study only. Okay. Because as I said, ki, the active consciousness does not get fixed in an object for a longer time, you know. So it keeps on moving. So it is better that you take the scriptures, you read it and contemplate it and arrive at a decision that is best for you.
And one
Okay.
more thing is that if we learn now, we remember it very nicely, sir, for the next 3 to 4 months. Afterwards, everything is erased in our mind, from our mind.
But the decision stays with you.
No, how erased? Once you understood that, no, how can it definitely?
Once we no concepts is clear, but if we
So
dive deeply into
the
it,
concepts are only you are going to apply in your life.
so certain things you are saying, no, right? They'll stay for, they'll talk about each and everything, only one at a time, like that 33,000, like that 47 qualities are known, right? These numbers and something like this, right? It is, right now also you told me 4 kashayas. I know it very well, 4 kashayas, but I just forgot it. Then I started revising what we, even then I'm going able to remember only 3 of them. So that technical words, right? It
No,
lives.
what what I say, no, just go through the basic again. You leave about this exam or like that. You read the basic
No, not for
again.
the exam. I'm not talking about the exam, right? These things get off from our mind, right?
No, it will not get up.
Don't take pressure. Don't take pressure of remembering. Whatever is there, let it be
Yes, exactly.
and enjoy.
What I kindly request you is that now we are saying 4 kashayas. Just please revise it once, right? So that
Which
we'll
one? Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, and the 4
not
levels.
that passion, like Anantanubandhi kashaya, like that. If you're
Anantanubandhi, Apratyakan, Pratyakyan, Sanjvalam.
and Sanjala, right? Like that, if you're doing something, right, just revise it once, right? So
Yes.
that we'll get it refreshed.
It is there in the scriptures, and if you want, I can share the English names also along with the Hindi ones. Okay.
Also,
Okay.
you try to listen to that YouTube. So many videos are there. No, Maharajis are just a few minutes. First, you will not understand, but once you get into them, no, not ever, you make it as a practice to listen to the pravachanams.
Okay.
No, I'm telling Shubha, not you, sir.
Okay. So now we'll close. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना